Hello, my most amazing artists. How are you today? Ready to create? We are going to create a Zentangle Zine. Now there's two things we're going to learn about. Zentangle and what a zine is. Some of you may know what a Zentangle is, but you're like, what is a zine? It is a small book that we create out of a piece of paper. And zine comes from the word magazine. So you're gonna create like a mini magazine. And if you have any parents at home who are my age or older, they know what a zine is. They actually created them probably when they were your age or older. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. This is just one piece of paper, and if you notice, they have all Zentangles on them. Now your zine, if you're making one for a different content, could have something else. Maybe it's all cats, maybe it's all dogs or shoes or ponies or rainbows. But we're gonna do a Zentangle Zine. You will have an opportunity to make your own zine as well. So they're pretty cool, and it's just a piece of paper that turns into a little book. And then I can flip through my 8 pages of the different Zentangles that I created. Pretty cool. So another thing that I'm gonna teach you about is Zentangle. And if you notice in the beginning of that word, there is the word Zen. And to be Zen is to be very calm and relaxed. And that's what a Zentangle helps you to do. It also helps you to explore your creativity and become a little bit more confident in yourself, in your creativity, because it's anything goes. When you're creating a pattern, if you make a mistake, just go with it. It's okay. Nobody's watching you or judging you, or it's just for you. And it really helps to get your mind off of all those other things that are weighing on your mind. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of changes. And sometimes we just have to stop. We have to take a deep breath in, hold it, and take a deep breath out, and let all of that go. Sometimes we have to have something else to preoccupy our mind, to kind of give our mind a break from all that stressful stuff, because we don't have to always think about those stressful things. That's why I personally love art. I'm so happy we get to create together, because that means that we get to share our love of art together, and art is always with me. And when I'm stressed out, that's my go-to. So we're going to create those Zentangle zines, and we are going to share them and upload them onto Teams. And when you share them and upload them, I want you to share them open so I can see your zine. Now I'm going to show you how we are going to turn them into the books. Looks a little complicated at first. It's pretty simple. And then you can make as many as you want. I'm so excited to start this project with you guys, and let's get to it. I'm going to create a zine that has 8 pages, and I will show you how we are going to fold them with one cut in the middle. So when I smush it together, I can turn it into my book. And inside of my book, it has many different pages with the different Zentangles inside. You need a white piece of paper. I used a copy paper from the printer, a scissor, either a Sharpie or a pencil. I do suggest a Sharpie for this lesson, but you could just use a pencil if that's all you have. Start by folding your paper hamburger, and I'm going to fold it corner to corner and fold the crease. I open it back up, and now I fold it hot dog, corner to corner. This creates 4 even spaces in my paper. Now I'm going to fold onto that vertical line one side of the paper. So I bring that paper over
and I fold it down. I'm going to do the same to the other side. I fold those corners in to that middle line, and if I open it up, I have 8 spaces. Make sure you count to make sure that you have 8. You can always pause and go back and fix your paper. Now I'm going to fold it one more time, hamburger, and I'm going to cut on that inside line. Do you see where my scissor is? Just that inside line. I don't want to cut the whole paper in half. Just in the middle. And I take my scissor and I cut and stop where those lines meet. Now I have a hole in the middle of my paper. That's how I'm going to fold my zine. So let me show you how we fold. We fold hot dog. I smush the side so it makes a diamond. Okay, I have to fold it really nice the first time so it stays. Looks like a plus sign. So I go ahead and I fold it and I smush on one side and then I fold that other side over. And there's my pages of my zine. I'm going to open it up and show you one more time how to fold your zine. I fold it hot dog. I find the inside hole, I crease it, smush it together, and fold the pages down. And then I can bring that other page around and fold the creases so that it is in a folded book. Now I have my pages. What I'm going to want to do is I'm going to label the numbers of my pages. So I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to label them. I'm going to start with the front as number 1, so I know that's my cover. Number 2, that's my technical first page of the book. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and the back page is 8. So I know how my book is going to be laid out when I have it open. Because I need to open it when I want to create, because I don't want my colors bleeding into the other pages, which means it kind of gets on the other pages. So I'm going to find my first page. On this first page, I can make this the title of my zine. So I'm just going to write my Zentangle Zine. And you can title this whatever you want to, my Zen book, my first zine, whatever you want to create it. If obviously you had a different content, then it would be something different. But I'm going to make that front page first. And I can add some decoration. I can go back and work on this front page after I already learned some new Zentangles to add to my creation. So we're going to do our first Zentangle in box 2. And when you create a Zentangle, you're going to start with a rectangle or square, and it doesn't matter if that rectangle or square is even or not. Just go with it. If you make a mistake, I want you to just keep going. Don't erase. I want you to just keep working. We're going to start with a very simple Zentangle. We're going to start with a curved line. Kind of looks like bumps, maybe even some teeth. And I'm going to stack these bumps and curved lines on top of each other, and when they come down, they come in between the first curved line, like so. I want to create a border around my Zentangle. So when I'm done inside of that rectangle, I'm going to create a border. And this could be any pattern or line or shape, something simple to decorate the outside of my Zentangle. Now I'm going to work on my second Zentangle on page 3. I am going to create my square or rectangle first. And I'm going to create 2 vertical lines and 3 horizontal lines. Inside of each square, I am going to make a lined design that wraps around the square and goes inward in kind of a spiral, but like a square spiral. You want to practice that a couple of times with pencil first, and then go ahead and start doing it with Sharpie. I find Sharpie to be very challenging and fun. Now moving on to page 4. This one's going to be a little bit harder. I'm going to start with my rectangle, and I'm again going to make 2 vertical lines, and this time I'm going to do 2 horizontal lines. And in each box I'm going to draw a diagonal line. And when I move to the second row, the diagonal line direction will change. And then the last one will be the same as the first one. In each of these boxes, I'm going to make a diagonal line that attaches to that diagonal line. This kind of reminds me of a leaf. I'm going to continue that in each of these sections. Moving on to page 5. Again, I start with my square or rectangle. And this time, this is a little bit more organic. I start with a curved line in the corner, and I repeat a curved line, and then another curved line. And then I'm going to start a new curved line, a new section. These kind of lines attach to each other. And when I made about 3 or 4 lines, I start a new one. Starting small and then making it grow. This is probably my favorite Zentangle. It's okay if you make a mistake. You could just keep on going, don't stop. Now on to page 6. I have to turn my Zentangle around and find page 6. And I again start with my rectangle or square. Now this is going to be a bumpy line. So I'm going to make 2 bumpy lines. Well, actually, sorry, 3 bumpy lines. And then I'm going to connect them with a curved line going down vertically. And I'm going to make more curved lines in each section. So these ones are going to go up, and as I go down, they're going to change direction. Now those are horizontal curved lines, and then vertical curved lines, and then horizontal curved lines, and vertical curved lines. It's okay if they're not perfect. Sometimes things look nice when they are not perfect. And I'm going to continue this in each section. Now on to page 7. You guessed it. Start with a rectangle or square. This is my second favorite Zentangle. It has to do with diagonal lines. So I find a corner to start and I make 3 diagonal lines. Now where they end, I'm going to connect them with another line, like so. And then I continue on. This actually looks like a tangle, and if you do it the correct way, it looks really cool. There really is no wrong way to doing this. So just keep drawing diagonal lines. I continue with the number 3. You can make short ones and long ones. And make sure that the ends of them attach with another line. That's what really makes them look like they're tangled together. And then I'm just going to fill in the spaces with just random diagonal lines, but keeping that number 3. And I'm just going to fix some of my lines as well, making them darker. And the last page, number 8, this is the back of my book. Starting with my rectangle, I'm going to actually do this sideways this time, and I'm going to make those bumps. When I make a bump, I'm going to make a little one on the inside. And what I'm going to do to this little one is I'm going to color it in with my Sharpie. And again, when I create a bump on the next row, it is created in the middle of the previous bump. So I make a bump, and then it should be kind of not really on top of, but more like in the middle of. Sometimes I make a mistake, and that's okay. I just keep on going. So see how they attach on the top of each of those little bumps. And maybe on page 8 I want to experiment. Maybe I want to make bigger ones. And I could do different designs on the inside. That's the fun thing about Zentangle. There really is no rules, and you can make your own Zentangle, your own patterns. It doesn't matter. And I fold it and close my book. And there's my Zentangle Zine. I can flip through the book and look at my different creations. Next video, I am going to show you different coloring techniques that you can do inside of your Zentangle so you can see the comparison of what it looks like with the different colors and different textures and coloring techniques. So I will update you guys on that next video. Have fun creating! I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Make sure that you upload your artwork to Teams.